Okay, so let me ask you a question. Do you all know what a homophone or a homonym is? There's a difference between a homophone and a homonym. This one, the clue here I wrote is a homonym. But I think you all have heard of homophone, but not homonym. There is a difference. So anyone knows what a homophone is or a homonym? No? Okay, I will say it. Let me see if everyone's in. Okay. The difference between a homophone and a homonym is a homophone is when the words are spelt differently, but they sound the same. For example, the word N-E-W and K-N-E-W. So new and new. They have different spellings, but they sound exactly the same. They're pronounced the same way, right? This new means something that is bought newly, right? This new means it's a past tense of know, right? I knew this, right? So they sound the same, but they are spelled differently. That's a homophone. Now, a homonym, on the other hand, is when they are spelled the same. Okay, so the spelling is the same. Pronunciation is also the same. However, the meaning is different. That is a homonym. That's the difference. Okay. So for you to answer this riddle, you need to know what a homonym is, because it's playing with the same spelling, same word pronunciation, but different meaning, and it's playing with this word, the word letters. That's the clue. It's a big clue already. So can you tell me what's the answer? The answer starts with a P, ends with an E. It's two words. Anyone knows? By the way, Skylar, where's your video? Can you please turn your video on? Make sure your video is turned on, everybody. Okay, I see answers coming. Oh, did you Google Emma? Did you Google it? Oh, you're muted. Yes, you got the answer correct. It's post office. Good. The answer is post office. Good job. Oh, your dad said. Emma said her dad told her the answer. Okay. Yes, it's post office. Now, what is the clue here is the word letters. Letters have two meaning. The English alphabet letters like A, B, C, D, those are letters. Another letter is, you post a letter and your friend opens and reads it, not like an email. Like now you can snail mail, right? A snail mail is when it takes months and weeks for you to read a physical copy of a letter, like dear you, blah, 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 blah. Formal writing, solution writing, that's letters, right? Letter writing. So here, because post office starts with a P, and of course office ends with an E, right? And there's 1,000 letters in between because of course you send letters to a post office. So it's a play with homophone. So if you didn't know that letters have two meanings, then you'll be thinking of the ABC letters, right? You won't be thinking of the other letters. So that's a homophone. So remember, homophone and homonym is very important. They play with these in your paper 2, right? They test you with these words for editing maybe, or some other section. So homophones, especially for secondary school, when you go secondary school, is very important. Homophones, different spelling, right? Like new, but same pronunciation. That's a homophone. A homonym is when it's spelled the same, it's pronounced the same, but the meaning is different, okay? All right, let's start. Now, there are 3 sections we're covering today. Vocabulary cloze. Can you tell me how many questions, how many marks? Anyone? For PSLE, how many questions will you get for vocab cloze? And how many marks?
5 questions, 5 marks.
Yes, thank you, Raha. 5 questions, 5 marks. Very good. Vocab MCQ is also the same. 5 questions, 5 marks. Now, open-ended compre. How many questions? How many marks? Hello, compre. Compre is the highest marks in your entire paper 2. 20 marks, 10 questions. However, the questions can be a 1-mark question, it can be a 4-mark question, it can be a 3-mark question. Okay, so the marks are depending on the question and how many parts of the answer there is. But it's 20 marks altogether. It's the highest in terms of mark weightage, right? So comprehension means comprehension comes with comprehend, whether you're able to understand. Comprehend means, do you understand what I'm saying? Can you comprehend what I'm saying? So that's understand. You're testing for your ability to understand after reading a passage and answering a question. And composition is how many marks? Paper 1. This is paper 1, right?
40.
Yes, these two are paper 2. Yes, good, thank you. It's 40 marks and it's split into 2 areas. You're marked for 2 areas. What are the 2 areas? Content and language. Yes, 20 marks for content, 20 marks for language. This is a very easy section to score as long as you are you are writing about within the topic, right? And it's interesting. The ideas that you present are interesting, not very boring. You score marks for content. Of course, language is when you use good adjectives, good adverbs, good verbs. Okay, your vocabulary bank is very strong. When you have very good vocabulary bank, you score for language. Okay, that's composition. Now, I have looked at those of you who did your tutorial. For the first section, vocabulary close. For those of you who did tutorial, most of you got all the questions correct. And if you did get the questions wrong, it's only question 1, 4, and 5. I wrote it down. So question 1, okay, yes. Anybody want to choose my pen color? Yeah, I will choose my pen color. I'm going to continue with rainbow. Okay, this one, question 1 is a question that some of you got wrong. I have 2 answers that I got. I got this as an answer. I also got this as an answer. Okay, both of the answers are not correct. What is the correct answer? Anyone else?
Far flung.
Whose voice is that?
Me. Kritik.
Oh, yes. Okay, yes. Raise your hand in the reaction button so you come to the stage. Yes, far-flung is the answer. So if you saw the portal, you know the answer is far-flung. Yes, thank you, Kritik. So the answer is B. They are all adjectives, which means they are describing words. Now, what is the meaning of remote? Remote is an adjective because it's describing the noun. This is the noun, right? Village is the noun. So it's describing the village. But what does remote mean? If I say this is such a remote area, means it's distant, right? It's not nearby. Okay, this is the opposite of nearby. Okay, so that's why the answer cannot be C, because C is the opposite meaning of remote, right? Now, can you tell me why the answer cannot be D? Usually kids like to confuse remote with abandoned. They don't have the same meaning. Abandoned means deserted. Okay, A and B. Okay, it means deserted. Now, what does abandoned or deserted means? Which means it's empty, it's barren. Nobody is using that land. Okay, it's left there to rot. That's what it means. So it's empty or abandoned, which means there's no life form there. Okay, it's just a wasteland. That's when you use deserted and abandoned. Okay, and of course, dessert with a double S is the food that you eat. So check note of the spelling, because kids always spell dessert. That's a homonym, right? Dessert. Sorry, not homonym, homophone. They are spelled differently, but they're pronounced the same way, right? So that's this is a food, right? These 2 words are homophones. They're not homonyms because they're spelled differently, but they're pronounced the same way. Okay, so this is a food. This one is barren land. Okay, it's abandoned. So it cannot be A, it cannot be D, because they both means the land is not being used. Okay, and of course it cannot be C because it means nearby. So what you're left with is far-flung. Okay, which basically is what remote is. Okay, it's distant. So the answer is B. Thank you. Number 2, I'm not going to spend much time because all of you got it right. So you know the answer. What is the answer, friends? Yes, Kritik? Yes, Kritik? You can unmute yourself. You're muted.
Nearer. C.
Yes, good. It is nearer. Closer means Nearer. Come closer to me. Come nearer to me. That's what it means, right? Now,
I got
connect. Sorry?
I
Yes?
got a little confused between A and C, then I just chose near.
You chose nearer. Yes. Yes. And you chose yes. Now, can you tell me what's the difference? Okay, what is related? Why cannot be related? Related is used to like we are, you know, the word related comes from the word relative.
There's a
Like she's,
connection between two words.
yes, very good. Who's that? I hear, see, if you don't raise your hand, I do not know who's talking. But yes, the person who just voiced your, yes, that's correct. So that's why you say, she's my relative. Relative, related. They come from the same root word, which means you are connected, you're associated to one another, right? So this word is connected. Nothing to do with coming closer, okay? Different meaning. Remember, for vocabulary, whether it's close or MCQ, you're looking for the most accurate word in the context, okay? Because they all have similar meanings. You must choose the most accurate. So related means you are connected or you're associated with somebody, either through blood or associations, okay? Now, obviously, it can't be further because this is the opposite meaning, okay? And what does this word mean? What is akin? Anyone? This word, very common word. It means that you share a similar characteristic or similar in nature, okay? Like we are so, you know, we are, if I say I'm akin to you means we are very close, we're very similar, okay? Similar in nature. Similar nature or character. Okay, and of course, nearer is closer. So that's the answer. Okay, now, anybody knows what a monument is? What's a monument?
A statue.
Yes, good. It's a statue, but not just any statue, right? A statue that is
Famous
meant,
one.
yeah, to commemorate somebody, a very famous person or notable person who has done something for society. So yes, that's a statue. Good, thank you. Well done. So that's why the answer is C. Okay, number 3 also, you all got right. So what's the answer? These are all
Drop.
verbs.
C.
Yes, good. It is C. It is dropped.
Because of the temperature.
Yes.
Temperature.
Yes. Because you don't use any of the other words when you're talking about temperature. Yes, that's the clue. Very good. Okay, the clue is temperature. Because you cannot say you can't trip. Trip means you what? You stumble and you fall down, right? You lose your footing, right? So that's when when someone is physically tripping, or you're tripping on your words. Stop tripping. When we say stop tripping means stop being so sensitive and, you know, agitated about things. So trip means to stumble, right? Similar in meaning with D, right? But what is the difference between trip and stumble is trip is when you lose one footing. However, stumble is when you lose balance and you almost fall. Okay, you almost fall. That's the difference. I can trip but not fall. Right? I can just trip. I lose one footing but I balance myself again. Right? But then stumble is when I'm almost going to fall already. Right? So in your composition, if you're going to write about a character who is literally going to stumble and fall down, then you use stumble. But he just tripped on a stone, for example. Okay, he just lose one footing. So using the most accurate verb in composition is very important, right? So you almost fall. Okay, you almost lose balance. However, trip is to stumble and lose your footing. Slip means what? I slip and fell. It's slide, right? It's the past tense of slide. You slide unintentionally, right? And of course, you know what drop is. I don't know how to explain how you drop something. Either you drop something literally physically, or if I use it in temperature means, you know, the temperature has dropped or increased. Dropped or increased is words you use with temperature because this is the key word here, right? So we need to look at the context, which is talking about temperature. Okay, good. Okay, next question. Number 4. What is the answer? This one, I got many interesting answers. And one of the answers I got was home and house. I actually got these answers. Yes, Valen, right? Is it Valen?
Yes.
Okay, yes, Valen. What's the answer?
Location.
Yes, very good. The answer is location. Can you tell me why can't the answer be house or home, which some of my friends answered as? Why is that wrong? You know what a house is, right, friends? Or a home? A house is a physical structure.